Hi everybody, this is TRX Master 100, and today we're going to learn how to make a spinosaurus. Now, I haven't done these in a long time, so if you could bear with me for a few minutes, then that would be great. Now, what you're going to want to do, like my T-Rex video if you've seen a while back, is you want to pull out some clay and make it look like a head and neck. So, that's the first thing we're going to start off with. Next, what you want to do is you want to grab the end of the ball of the head and you want to pull it forward and pinch it and start dragging it forward. And you see that's where the snout, the long crocodilian-like snout, is going to come in. Okay? Yes, I know my clay is dirty. It's because I have animals around my house. Next thing is to make a little indent right here, and that's where the bottom jaw is going to fit. Sorry, I'm gonna make that a little bit better. Next thing, that's the next thing that you need to do. Just make it like this. Okay, and to also make it more crocodilian or more spinosaurus like is you want to pull out this little bit right here, okay, like that, and then you want to curve it downwards, and that is your top snout. We're going to get into eye crests and the little crest on that comes from the forehead all the way down to the nose a little bit easier, and it's going to be, or not easier, later. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get the bottom jaw, and you're going to want to pull out a piece of clay, and you're going to want to make it into a thin, long shape. And then it'll just come naturally from there. What you need to do is then form that long shape onto the bottom of the head sculpt, and then right there, and then secure the head sculpt with and secure the bottom jaw and head sculpt with more clay so that it doesn't fall apart. Now, you can use this with different types of clay. For instance, you can use this with Sculpey clay, air dried clay, anything you want. I'm using it with good old-fashioned modeling clay because if I want to make these videos, I'm going to want to have modeling clay around so that I can just make whatever I need to make all over again. And now, this figure, along with some other things, it's not going to look exactly like the one that's going to be in this video, but this Spinosaurus, as well as some other animals, are going to be available on my Facebook store that I'll be setting up soon. And after you're done with the bottom jaw, what you want to do is you want to kind of fold the bottom jaw inwards. Now, we're not going to get into extreme detail. Again, this is a simple Spinosaurus. But the ones that are going to be sold on my Facebook store are going to be a lot more detailed than the simple sculpt that we're going to be right here. Than the simple sculpt that's going to be here today on this video. Now, next things next, sorry. You're going to want to pull two massive pillar-like things of clay out of the midsection right here, and those are going to be your legs. And the reason why we're doing the legs second is because if you make all the other stuff and then if you make all the other appendages first, say like the arms, tail, and tail, there's not going to be enough clay for the legs. And also, the legs kind of help determine where everything else is going to go and where everything else needs to be. Now, once you're done forming the legs, we're going to move on to the tail, because the arms are not going to be that important until we get these two formed, and until we get the legs and the tail all formed up and ready to go. Now, sometimes what I do is that if I've used too much clay for the legs or tail, is that I take clay away from the tail or from the legs or from the midsection of the body, and I use it to make the arms. So when you take a closer look at this, sorry, if you look closer at this, you're gonna want to pinch some more clay into a more bulbous shape so that you can thin it out into what a tail is going to look like. It's very imperative that you do that. Otherwise, your Spinosaurus is going to look very, very weird. Now, I'm going to finish the tail later, but now we're going to move on to the arms. Now, like I said previously, if you've pulled out too much clay for the arms or for the head, don't worry about that. You can just grab some clay from the legs or the tail, and you can make those into the arms. Sorry about my bird. He's kind of loud and obnoxious. At least you can listen to him while we're making the arms. Okay, so once you get the arm, so what you want to do with the arms is that, sorry, I've already kind of formed them onto the body, but what you want to do is with those two pieces of clay that you have, is you want to kind of want to fold the body, or not fold the body, have the arms kind of molded to the torso. And this is very, very imperative, otherwise the arms are going to fall off, and they're going to either be very, very malformed and stuff like that. And that especially applies to air dry clay and to polymer clay and air dry clay. It's very, very important that you do not pull, or you just stick the arms on there and do not reinforce them. Buddy, stop. Sorry, my bird's being a little bit annoying. Okay, and you can do this in whatever steps that you want. I decided to do the tail last because that was the least important thing, because the arms needed to come next, otherwise I wouldn't know where the arms were going to be once I got done with everything else. We'll get into fingers and claws later in this sculpt, but right now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull the legs down so they are a little bit longer, and make sure the arms are properly formed. Otherwise, it's going to look a little bit weird. And next is we're going to move on to the sail. Now, of course, the sail is the most important thing of a Spinosaurus, because that's what identifies it as its genus. So, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pinch some clay up from this right here, and then you're going to kind of thin it out along the back. Then we're going to smooth out the rough edges so that it looks more like a real thing and not something not natural at all. So, And we're not making the scientifically accurate version of Spinosaurus, if you guys were wondering, or if you guys have anything to say in the end of the video. We're not making the scientifically accurate version of Spinosaurus. We're making more JP3 version of Spinosaurus. However, I will be doing a more scientifically accurate Spinosaurus later in the future. But we're just doing a very simple Spinosaurus right now. Kind of flesh out the sail here. Do that. Okay, there you have your sail. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the little details. Now, what you want to do with the eye crests is that you just kind of want to pinch some clay into a triangle and then just kind of smooth them out like that, if you can see that. I better turn it the other way. So you, like that. Okay? Give a little bit of your Spinosaurus a little bit more character. We're not going to make eyes, because that means I would have to go somewhere and get a pen or get a toothpick or something like that and poke eyes in, which I'm not going to do that right now. It's supposed to be quick and easy, and I'm going to keep it that way. And there's the other side. Look at the front. There it is. Right there. Sorry, you probably can't see it that well, because I'm using a webcam right now. Now, next. Sorry, I keep saying that. Should probably come up with something more original. What you're going to want to do is that even though JP3 Spinosaurus didn't have the crest that was on the ridge of his nose, we're going to incorporate that here so it can be a little bit more scientifically accurate. But, like I said, it's not going to be horrifically scientifically accurate to the point where it's not going to be exactly what scientists have found. Okay? And the head is now all done. Now, what you want to do next is that you want to bend the arms, and we'll do the same process with the legs, but you want to bend the arms at a 45-degree angle, and then you're going to pull 3 long pieces of clay out from the bulbous end of the arm, and these are going to be your Spinosaurus's fingers. We're not going to do claws, so just pull out the fingers into, like, you know, like how they would look like a normal, kind of like how a crocodile's hand looks, or a crocodile's foot looks. We'll get into claws at a later date. But for right now, we're just going to do it this way. Okay, and then, of course, do it on the other side. Want to be consistent. Kind of a no-brainer, if you ask me. And there you go. You have your hands, or your arms. Now, sometimes if the tail seems to be a little bit too long on your dinosaur / lizard, crocodile, snake, whatever you want to do, is that you want to either make the tail shorter, or with an animal with limbs or with legs, is pull the legs back a little bit. this will make the animal look not so long and make it a little bit more natural looking. Now, I'm not going to shave out the creases or the cracks in this figure because again, I will have to make multiple cuts in this video, and I don't necessarily want to do that. This is supposed to be simple and sweet. And then what you want to do is you want to bend the leg, the leg backwards at another 45-degree angle, and then you're going to bend the leg down, and then you're going to bend another part of the leg downwards like this. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. There you go. You have your legs. Now we are going to do 3 toes. And the same thing applies with the arms. You're going to pull out 3 different types of three different appendages of clay, and those are going to be your toes. We're not going to, like I said, we're not going to do talons or claws or anything like that. So just pull them out to a point, like this. So there's one foot. Alright? There's one, and then you're going to do the other. And then we're going to move on to sail ridges. And then after that, you'll have a complete Spinosaurus. Okay, moving on to the last little bit now. And here's the thing, guys. If your Spinosaurus takes longer than expected, that's completely okay. Take as much time as you need. You can always try it again if you fail, or if you can always see if you can improve your technique or anything like that. Just take it one step at a time. Okay, now, to make sail ridges, we are going to pinch a little bit of clay into what looks kind of like a half circle. Now this gives your Spinosaurus, a little bit more detail and character. See? And then just keep doing those along the sail. Just keep pinching the clay, like this, until you reach the end of the sail. And you want to kind of go with these sail ridges a little bit further down the tail. Like that. And there you go, guys. That is your Spinosaurus. I want to say that this is taking me years to master, and this has taken me a lot of time to cover and practice. And it takes time and patience for you to get to this level of sculpting, but you can always do it if you take the time and dedication and you don't give up on it. Now, here is another tip. And that is, no matter how bad you think the sculpt is going to turn out to be, always see if you can fix it. Okay? Because this isn't something that is entirely... this is something that is not very hard to fix. Or you can't look into and see if you can fix it. It's not that important, and it's always going to be there. You can always try and make some improvements, like I did. I had to make improvements before I started doing sculptures. And I will give you a little bit of a teaser Next time, we are going to do a sauropod. But that's all the teasers that I'm going to give you, okay? It's going to be a big sauropod. Because some sauropods are small for that age group. Or for that genus. So there you go. There is your Spinosaurus. Alright. Sorry if my hands keep getting in the way. I'm just trying to hold it up here. See? There it is. Right there. Alright, guys. I will catch you in the next one. This is T-Rex Master 100 signing off. Have a great day, everybody.